We are halfway through Copa America, day 6, as you take a look at the scenes on the beach just outside Los Angeles. Meanwhile, we're here inside the LA studios of Futbol Americas throughout the Copa America. Alejandro Moreno, Herculez Gomez, Sebastian Salazar here with you in the aftermath of Canada's gritty 1-0 win over Peru in Group A action. Just a few seconds, we're going to hear from Miguel Echegaray. This show's a resident Peruvian, and basically, based on what we've seen through the first 2 games, the resident sufferer on this panel. In fact, Luis Miguel,
this should be fun.
I feel tempted, even though you're shaking your head, to start with you here. Give us the emotional reaction to what you just saw from your national team.
Peruvian self-destruction is in our constitution. It's in our DNA. When you go to Catholic church when you're a kid, this is the first thing they tell you. Don't get too excited, Peruanos, because at some point you're going to mess it up. And this is exactly what happened today. Listen, congratulations to Canada. Congratulations for Jonathan David, a really good finish. The subs made some good difference there by Jesse Marsh. But let's be honest here, the red card changed everything. And yes, it probably should have been 2 because Marcos Lopez can count himself very, very lucky to not receive the end of one, specifically after that headbutt. But this was the best I have seen Peru play under Jorge Fossati. And Canada were terrible, so I guess it's a combination of 2. And everything was looking good. There was no goal, but there was definitely a development and an improvement in performance. And then the red card happened, and that was it. Canada obviously took advantage with the extra man, Jonathan David on the counter. And when you have Carrillo and Cueva and Paulo Guerrero to come on, we talked about this last time, these aging players, you're not going to make much of a difference. And it's a real shame because there were a lot of Peruvian players in this lineup that I really thought played well. Piero Quispe really learned from his first game. What a great performance for him. Wilder Cartagena, I thought when he places himself in the position that he loves, right, he is fantastic. I thought Andy Polo did a good job at the beginning, canceling the likes of Alfonso Davies. But unfortunately, that red card changed everything. And the moment you have that, you self-destruct. So yes, Canada got the 3 points, but I thought that Canada didn't win the game as more than Peru lost it.
Ale, would you agree with that? And would you agree that there's very little doubt about the red card for Araujo?
No. Well,
it was a yellow at first.
First of all, I'm just going to say I'm going to speak about the Venezuelan Catholic Church and defend that. We receive a much more optimistic, uplifting message.
Positive vibes.
I'm just saying. Well, no doubt it's a red card. 100% a red card. And I mean 100% a red card. Now, what Miguel Araujo may say is, I got the ball. La pelota. Profe. The referee. Profe, la pelota. Yeah, well, you got the ball on your way to almost destroying the shin of Jacob Schaffelberg, who, by the way, is fortunate that his ankle was already sort of rolling and giving way, because if that foot had been planted on the ground, square on the ground, Miguel Araujo goes through that legs and breaks it. It was, you talk about endangering the safety of an opponent, 100% a red card. And by the way, we have to say that Marcos Lopez should have been thrown out of the game as well. Yes. Because I don't know since when it is accepted to headbutt somebody. I don't know how that's acceptable. And I also don't quite understand and can't quite believe that they actually sort of went to VAR. We could see it in the screen. It said, chequeo for VAR. VAR check for a red card, right? And they actually checked it. And they said, no, headbutt is good. Let it go. So that should have been a red card. In terms of what Peru did or didn't do before then, yeah, they were better than they were against Chile. But I think that also coincided with a drop-off in performance by Canada. That you put those things together, now it felt like Peru had the momentum in the game. But they themselves, as Luis Miguel just pointed out, clearly made sure that that wasn't the case in the second half, because after the red card, the game was completely different. I would say that Canada was trying to find creative ways of giving these points away, because for some odd reason, they were unable to complete yet another counterattacking opportunity or yet another mismatch when they went in transition. They couldn't complete the right pass or make the right decision to score a second goal. And if it wasn't for a big save by Maxime Crepeau against Cueva, this may have been 1-1 for something that should have been completely out of doubt and out of discussion and out of control. It should have been all Canada all the time, and it wasn't. They'll take the 1-0 win, 3 points. Peru, good luck.
What should we focus more on? What Peru didn't do or what Canada achieved today?
How naive Canada was.
Really?
Yeah, listen.
It's interesting because after they lost to Argentina, we were giving them all sorts of credit. And here they've won the game.
The opponent matters, right? The way you go about it matters. You felt very good about the performance against the world champions in Argentina and how they were able to, for long stretches of that game, be very dangerous, put Argentina in precarious situations. This is Peru. This is one of the worst teams in World Cup qualifying, if not the worst. 1 goal scored in all World Cup qualifying. You got to help me explain how they scored against Venezuela there. I don't really. I don't really understand.
Wasn't Seb.
Yeah. Free shot for no reason.
But what I'm trying to say here is this is a team that really struggles, and you can see it. Quispe had a golden opportunity in the first half, goes about it wrong. It takes too much time. Crepeau comes up with the save. To Ali, what he was alluding to with Canada and how reckless they were, they really in the first half gave Peru tons and tons of opportunities, how naive they were with the ball. And then Jesse Marsch, we know the Jesse Marsch staple, the intensity, the pressing, the defensive stability up top that leads to offensive opportunities. They look gassed. And he can clearly see it. You could see it, I could see it, Ali could see it. And yet they kept trying to make this a back-and-forth type of game when they were up a goal, when you got to shut it down. You got to possess the ball. You got to keep stringing passes along. You got to make Peru work more and then get your opportunity. Very naive football from a team that I thought could get out of this group. And now if they're going to play like this, I really have my doubts. This is a game that should have been much more than a 1-0 win. It should have been very easy for them to get out of this game unscathed. And yet it took 2 red cards, one that was called, and back and forth play and very naive playing out of the back and getting yourself in situations to learn from it and to pick up a barely a 1-0 win. I thought it was more of a case of Canada scraping through, honestly.
I would just say that something needed to happen in the game to change the approach for Canada, to help Canada. And Peru was happy to provide that in the Miguel Araujo red card. Quite frankly, up until that point, Canada had no business winning the match. Now, I'm not saying that Peru would have gone on to win it because they actually haven't proven that they're going to score a goal or whether Lapadula is going to take a shot with his right foot anytime in this tournament or ever. So, look, it just doesn't feel like Peru is ever going to score. But Canada was not exactly playing out of their minds. In fact, they were lucky to be in the game. And so they needed help. Peru provided that help, and here we are, Canada 3 points, Peru not so much.
To bring it back to Peru and bring Luis Miguel back in, I want to read you a quote from Fossati. This was before the game. He was talking about kind of Canada's approach against Argentina. He used the word violent to describe it, and he said, if we have to use our fists, we'll use our fists. Luis Miguel, when you hear that ahead of a game, do you like that? Because it seemed like today Peru left the football at home, and they just came for a street fight.
Well, Sebi, I thought Fossati was being poetic, figurative. I didn't think that he was actually literally telling them to go at it because Marcos Lopez, as the boys had rightly said, should have been sent off. I mean, I don't care what you consider a headbutt. It was a headbutt. And Araujo, Al is correct. He should have been sent off because it was a clearly bad foul. So, you know, Fossati, I think, was trying to emphasize this very point. From what he saw of Canada play against Argentina, Peru needed to match up because leading up to this game, we had not seen it at all. And I just want to make something really clear here. I think it's important to differentiate because, yes, World Cup qualifiers, absolutely, and I agree with her, Peru at this moment are the worst team in South America. But it was also that 1 goal only scored in World Cup qualifiers. That's the Reynoso era. And yes, not much has changed in terms of talent, right? Piero Quispe, the likes have been added more by Fossati, but at least Fossati has given us just a little bit of hope. Definitely defensively. I thought Zambrano, yes, before the red card, Araujo and Callens were once again delivering me. And if we're just talking about this game, before the red card, Peru definitely was dominating this performance against Canada. And the red card changed everything. Now, I agree. Were they going to win it? I'm not so sure. But I think that Fossati, in the end, with that comment that you said, was trying to match up to the physicality of Canada. And Canada were terrible at the beginning of this game. And I think Peru definitely took advantage. But the red card changed everything. So yeah, now it's just a miracle against Argentina in Miami. That's not going to happen at all. I'm just going to, I don't know, buy a lomo saltado, get a ceviche, just relax a little bit because, I mean, we're not winning that game. It's ridiculous.
It is hard to see Peru competing with Argentina.
Argentina could win this game against Chile, and maybe there's substitutions, they're resting players. It's in Miami. It's going to be a love affair with Messi. It's going to be very difficult. The way, certainly not just with World Cup qualifying, it may have been Reynoso era, but what we've seen in these 2 games from Peru, it's a tall order to compete against Argentina. Yeah, that's not happening.
Regardless of who they would be playing in the third match, what I saw from Peru today towards the end of the match and after the final whistle is a team that's broken, a team that mentally thought that this was the opportunity. The games against Canada was when they were going to be able to get 3 points, and it would give them an opportunity to hope and dream that maybe getting a result against Argentina would mean that they qualify out of this group along with Argentina, that they would have been rooting for Argentina to beat Chile tonight, and so therefore that would give them that chance to make sure that they got into the next round. The fact that they're unable to beat Canada, what you saw from this team at the end of the match, and there was a shot of Fossati who's staring at whatever is going on out on the field, but behind him, the bench of Peru, which are the guys that had just come off the field, broken, disheartened, the body language, and you just sense that this is a team that is going to be very difficult to find some life, because just like Luis Miguel, they're feeling it too. And believe me, they're feeling it. They're in it. They're on the stage. And so they know that this was the opportunity, an opportunity that is now gone away. And yeah, to hope to get something against Argentina, no.
Plus the heat in Kansas City today. I mean,
Yeah,
that's going to empty your tank. Just that. All right, Luis Miguel, last word on Peru to you. Your final thoughts here.
No, I just think, just to add context, when you sub in Carrillo, Paulo Guerrero, Christian Cueva, you're relying on the likes of like 2017, 2018, 2019, and it's 2024. A clear need to develop Peruvian young talent and place them both domestically and in Europe is going to be a necessity to move forward in the next 5-10 years, because right now it's flatlined.
All right, so Canada beats Peru 1-0 in Group A action. Peru in real trouble of being eliminated from Copa America. Canada with a good chance now to advance. Up next for Canada, it's Chile. And as we mentioned, for Peru, it's Argentina in the group phase finale.
yes, I'm back in the promo.
You're back in the promo. On your ESPN Plus screens tonight in the aftermath of that Chile-Argentina match. Ali Krieger joins this trio in studio at around 8 p.m.
It's nice of her to show up.
Pacific time, 11 p.m. out on the East Coast.